Hello everybody, I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic day. A while ago I built the Atari Super Salt Diagnostic cartridge, and it is a diagnostic ROM for all of the 8-bit Atari computers, including this Atari 800XL, which is the one that I built it for. And it is a great tool to help you figure out if your RAM and all the other things that are in your Atari 800 are working properly. But one of the things people ask me during the video is, does it work with the Atari 400 and 800? And reading the ROM, yes, they work with the 400 800. The problem is they don't actually fit the Atari 400 and 800. Let me show you. This is the original 800, and it is very different in styling from the 800XL that I just showed you. And one of the things that I didn't realize, because I'd never owned one before, is that the cartridges sit inside of this little area here, and when you open the door, there's a little thing here that turns off the machine so that you don't accidentally, plug in a cartridge while the thing's on. And that means that this door cannot shut with this cartridge because it is too tall. And so we're going to fix that and make the Salt cartridge even better in this video. So I basically see two problems with this cartridge. The first one is that there are many different versions of the Atari Super Salt ROM, and as I have these various ones, I've got things written on them. There's 2.04 and 0 and all kinds of different versions, and they're completely different in style and somewhat in functionality. And with this cartridge, you can only run one of them. And if you want to run it in this machine, you've got to jam, I use an Allen wrench down here to stop the machine from turning off. Or you can do what we're going to do, and we're going to build a purpose-built cartridge for the Atari 400 and 800 series, but we're going to do it even better. One of the things that's interesting is that when you actually look at the ROM files for the Super Salt, most of them have both 8K and 16K versions, with the 16K having a few extra little features here and there. And so the idea is that with this thing, you could actually run multiple 16K versions of the Salt ROM. So what I thought about doing was to take one of these things and put 3 different versions of the Super Salt Diagnostic ROM on the EPROM, and then I figured we could do a game on there also, so that when you're done testing your machine and everything looks like it works, you can celebrate by playing a game. So while I'm building this cartridge, I want to thank PCBWay.com for sponsoring this. This is one of their awesome shared projects by a guy named C64 Istanbul, total legend. Provides this project free of charge. You can just add it to your cart, get 10 of them for about $5, have it delivered to your house in about a week. It's just fantastic. And they actually help me keep all of these computers running. This project only took me 7 minutes to solder from beginning to end, and that was including stopping to go get my fume extractor. All you do is add a single 2-position dip switch, or you can put some jumpers here. You get one of the really cheap common 74LS00 chips, a couple of 10K resistors, a 104 ceramic capacitor, and then a 28-pin socket. I happen to use a 27C512 EPROM. That allowed me to put 4 16K ROMs on the one chip. So I had 3 copies of the Salt Diagnostic in different versions and 1 game. All right, so we have the ROM burned, and I will post a link to all of the ROM files for the Salt cartridge. And it's got this little dip switch on here, and so when we put up and up, we get the original version of the Super Salt, which is, there may be some specific reasons to use that I don't know, but I'll go ahead and fire that up for a second. And you can see you get a very basic text interface. Then I always forget, I'm making a cartridge right now. I'm actually printing a box, but I think if I do this one like this, I'll get version 2.0.4, which is kind of a more, no, 2.0.5. That's the latest one that I've got on here for the Atari 400. And as you can see, if I reverse them, so I've got switch up on the right, switch down on the left. Again, I will make a label for this. That should give me 2.0.4. And having my 3D printed cartridge will make this a little bit easier to plug in. And when I come down here and go down, So that would be down, down. Then I wind up with my celebratory game of Miner 2049er. Now I will say the video capture is not awesome, but on a TV this thing looks amazing. I think I misspoke earlier. 2.0.4 is the one that I'm most familiar with, and so we're going to go ahead and hit break, and you can see that you can do an extended unit test or individual test or whatever, and you hit the select button. I'm looking at this from the side, so it's a little tough for me to tell, but we're gonna go ahead there, and we're going to hit option to go, which is option, and then you basically just choose the first letter of the test you want to run. So I can hit R for a RAM test, and then because this is all the tests together, you can just hit start and let it run. Now, as you can tell, I don't have all the little diagnostic harness pieces hooked up to it, but we are able to still run a lot of the tests without them. So everything I could test looked pretty good. I need to get that port box so I can do a couple more tests to this thing. But for the most part, when I do these projects, I would say most of them go worse than I anticipated. They're more work and more of a problem than I was hoping for. This one for once actually went easier than expected, and I was able to get a nice new diagnostic cartridge that'll fit in the Atari 800 and 400 thanks to PCBWay.com. Of course, I'll have links in the description to everything you need for this project, and really the only thing we can do now is celebrate by firing this thing up and playing a game. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.